My inspiration to go to college was both of my parents. They immigrated here when they found out they were pregnant with me. Back in Mexico, they lived in like kind of like an old farmy town, like dirt roads. And they, without even knowing me or like what my potential was, they took the risk of coming to America and just wanting to bring a better life for me. And that really pushed me, my whole like school life, like school career, to keep going because they push their limits every day.
So back when I went to college, I had no idea why I would necessarily want to go to college. I knew that I didn't want to do what was available to me at the time coming out of high school, and so I thought it would be interesting to go and see what college had available. And when I started, I thought there were maybe three majors. There was like business, medical, English, and probably one other one, right? I had no idea, and so it was really a learning experience.
I really was one of those people that I love to learn, and any opportunity to learn more was really appealing to me. And so the idea of going to college just wasn't ever an option for me. I just knew that that was the route that I was going to take after high school.
Transitioning to college as a first-gen student, it was difficult because a lot of the people I grew up around were also first-gen or would-be first-gen if they went to college. So I kind of just assumed that was everyone's experience. I got to college and like my roommate was talking about like whenever her parents were in college, and I was like, your parents went to college? Like, that's just for us. I don't know what you're talking about. So it was weird to realize that other people had more experience than I did, and then adjusting to like, I kind of have to catch up.
I had to figure out a lot of it on my own. There was some people who were able to help me, but it was never people within my own family. I always had to go somewhere else to find a resource. And sometimes that was hard to do, and I can see why a lot of people in like a situation like me would just be like, I got it. And I mean, I did that a lot too. I sometimes would just be like, I got it, I can figure it out.
I made a lot of mistakes, and there wasn't anybody there to tell me about the mistakes that I was making, and so I had to learn those the hard way. There was not, when I started college, there wasn't a lot of good communication vehicles. It was all printed, and they assumed that you understood all of the terminologies and idiosyncratic things that happen with college. And so when you didn't do that, you were only told after the fact that you didn't do something correctly. And so it was a bit of a jarring experience for me because I made almost all the mistakes that you could possibly make as an undergraduate, including being threatened of being kicked out of college because I hadn't declared a major.
I would also say another challenge I faced was just finances. So I had to work as a student and like navigate like the bus system my first semester, but then second semester brought a car, and driving in the snow was not my thing. So that was a challenge I had to face. And my parents like were not used to that. So like being able to transition to that was something that I really had to learn how to overcome.
Imposter syndrome is a big challenge of being first gen. You know, you have all the odds against you. And I think I've overcome that through those mentors and advisors I found here at Drake.
I didn't know how college worked in a lot of ways. I wasn't sure how to, set up my schedule, or I remember being told by someone, like, you don't take your books to class. Like, you're not going to read in class. You might take them to refer to in a discussion, but fortunately, I had a lot of mentors and others who could kind of help me through that transition process. It was challenging, but I think I just kept in mind what it was that I wanted to accomplish through my college experience.
The resources I found the most helpful were other first-gen students that were going through the same thing, as well as my friends that were open to kind of talking about their experiences, like what they already knew. And then the faculty, especially first-gen faculty that kind of knew what I was going through, that were open to working with me to make sure I had what I needed.
So my number one resource that I encourage all of my students now to pursue is to find a mentor. That's the number one thing. Find someone, find a human being who you can go to and ask questions of, who you can talk about what's going on in your life, what you're experiencing, what your challenges are, what your obstacles are, what resources are available.
So I guess what college taught me is that I need to figure out what I want to prioritize and not like let all these other distractions or all these other people and what they prioritize be set onto me.
I've learned about my values. So my 4 values are education, faith, community, and service. So those were some things that I learned here my first year at Drake. And just remembering like not putting those into action. So all my values are always into action.
I learned that I am not as strong as I thought sometimes, and it's okay. I came into college being that kind of person that I'm not gonna show my emotions, nobody's gonna break me down, I'm here. I'm Latina, I can do this. But you can only put up that front for so much. Like at the end of the day, we all are gonna have that breaking point. And if you don't come to terms and like are able to connect, tap into your emotions, you break hard.
The advice I'd give for all first-gen students would be to ask for help.
The advice I would give to first-generation students is to ask questions, but not to be afraid to advocate for yourself.
That it's okay to not know what it is that you want to do or what you want to be when you grow up, right? That's part of the college experience.
I would just say ask questions. Faculty and your peers and others, staff members around campus are more than happy to help. We want you to be successful. Those of us that were also first generation students understand. And so just come to us and ask for help. That's totally fine.